Shalom everyone, how are you? As we get closer to Chag HaShavuot, right, we want to receive the Torah. When we want to receive the Torah, we want to be ready first. It says, Derech Eretz kadma laTorah. Derech Eretz, good manners, being, let's say, polite, okay? All these preceded the Torah. 26 generations before the Torah was given. First was Adam HaRishon was created, right?
Yeah.
26 generations later came Moshe Rabbeinu, and he was the one that gave us the Torah. So before we got the Torah, there were many years that there was no kind of guidance. How would people act? What should they do? How should they live? So in this quality, when people have Derech Eretz, okay, this quality kind of has all the good qualities inside. Is the expression for noble mindedness and gentle and being delicate, and this requires usually a special attitude for other people, respect the right way to other people, and being careful and putting an effort to make other people feel good and comfortable, make them feel pleasant. And this Derech Eretz comes in all kind of aspects. Later on we will talk about how people should be Derech Eretz while as they talk, as they walk, as they eat, as the way that they're dressed. Okay, there's all kind of different kinds of Derech Eretz. We're going to learn them later on. And why do we learn it today? Because the days between Pesach, after Pesach, usually we start learning Masechet Avot. Because Avot teaches us how to be human beings the right way, how to treat other people, how to behave, how to be careful, okay? And we know that the students of Rabbi Akiva, they died these days because there was some kind of lack of respect. We don't even understand what does it mean, this lack of respect, because they were righteous people, they were very big people. We, in our mind, we don't understand what exactly it means that they didn't respect the right way their friends. So, in the Masechet Avot, in the 3rd chapter, Mishnah Yud Gimel, Omer Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Imen Torah and Derech Eretz. And then later on he says, Imen Derech Eretz and Torah.
Mm-hmm.
So what's more important? Torah or Derech Eretz? Derech Eretz or Torah? How does it go? So there are two kinds of Derech Eretz. There is Derech Eretz that the source of it is in our Torah. It's very hard to get to that Derech Eretz because the Torah wants us to be like angels. It's kind of hard. And then there is Derech Eretz that, when you think about this, people can get it even without Torah, but in a way it's kind of, it's natural way people don't want to, let's say, hurt other people's feelings. They don't want to be on top of them. They're careful. Okay, people can do this, but we are talking about more lofty, more sublime, more in a way, working on our qualities. Working on ourselves very hard. It's like a fight inside us. Should I get out of myself? Should I try so much? For what and for who? Right? But that's working on our qualities. And this, without this, we cannot really reach. We cannot understand the Torah. Let's start with another saying from Pirkei Avot. It says, "Yikvot chavercha, chaviv alecha keshelcha." Respect your friend, okay? The respect of your friend should be important for you, like yours. Okay, it says in Parashat Noach that after the flood, Noach is coming out of the ark, and he was devastated. The whole world was destroyed. There was nothing left. We don't know even what does it feel that there's nobody in the world, no houses, no trees, no nothing. And he feels upset, he feels down, he feels depressed. And it says that he planted a vineyard and he had some grapes and he drank wine and he became drunk. Okay? So his kids saw him. It says, ויקח שם ויפת את השמלה, they took their father's clothing, וישימו השכם שניהם וילכו אחורנית ויכסו את ערוות אביהם. They covered their father. Why it says ויקח שמן יפת, not ויקחו שמן יפת? Doesn't say that both of them took and covered their father. It says Shem more. You know, Shem really did this. So the truth is that Shem started and Yefet was dragged after him and followed him and did it because Shem started. But Shem was really the one that was responsible for this. He didn't want that his father would look this way. He cared for his father's respect. So it says, Rashi says right afterwards, that Lelamed al Shem, we learn from here that because Shem gave a lot of effort to this mitzvah, he really cared more than his brother, okay? Hashem rewarded him. How does Hashem reward him? That his sons will have talit shel tzitzit. They will have this cover on their clothing. His children will wear a talit. And Yefet, that did it because his brother started, what he had merited, that in the future, when there's going to be Milchemet Gog uMagog, there's going to be a lot of fight, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of killings. So the descendants of Gog, okay, of Yefet, they will bury them and they will cover them with the sand. This is going to be the reward of Yefet. See the difference? Because he put the effort so much, he really tried because he didn't want that everybody will see his father in this situation. So he already got the reward. All his children are wearing talit, tzitzit. But Yefet's children, okay, it's a promise for thousands of years is there, and he didn't really get this promise yet. It will happen, but nothing yet. We also know that it says Veishkon. It says Yaft Elokim leYefet Veishkon bo'alei Shem. Shlomo Melech, which is coming from Shem, built the first temple. We know that in the first temple there was the Shekhinah there. It was something special. The second temple, Koresh, which came from Yefet, he really helped and allowed the second temple to be built. So, okay, so it's kind of on his name, but we know that in the second temple there was no Shekhinah like it was in the first one. There's nothing to compare between the first and the second temple. So, from the way that Shem and Yefet acted, we see how Hashem rewarded them. Okay, it says, another thing that it says in the Gemara, "Ve'eve makdim b'shlom kol adam." How important it is, one of the things of the Derech Eretz, to say hello to people that you see. To be the first one who says hello to the people that you see in the streets, when you shop, in a shiur, wherever you go, in the synagogue. It says about Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai that never there was a situation like that somebody said hello before him. He always was the first to say hello. And even to non-Jewish people that he met in the street, doesn't matter exactly who it is, he was always the one that said hello first. And this is Rabban Yochanan ben Zakkai. I want to explain you a little bit who he was. It says, he didn't let down any Mikra, things from the Torah, any Mishnah, Mishnayot, Gemara, Halachot, laws of Torah, Agadot, all kind of legends that were written about Torah, Dikdukei Torah, Dikdukei Sofrim, all kind of things that we don't even know what they are today, Tkufot, timings, Gimatriot, that they learn from the Torah, letters, numbers. Sichat Malachi HaSharet even, he knew what the angels are talking. Maaseh Merkava, it's all written in Masechet Sukkah. he was the president of Israel. He was the most important person in Israel in the time of the destruction of the temple. And this kind of a person that was such a big Torah scholar, okay, he all the needs of the Jewish people on him, on his shoulder, right? He never, even though he was so busy with millions of things, his mind was occupied in such a way that you won't be able to say shalom to people when he meets them in the street. This is Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai. We can learn from him. He was a great man. We know that he was a great man. Definitely we could learn from him. So how important it is to say shalom to people when you meet them in the street. There was this rabbi in Israel that some people started to speak Lashon Hara about him. And then some time later his wife realized that when she walks in the street, people try to ignore her. They try not to say hello. They're afraid because people spoke. Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai was trying to say shalom even to Gentiles, even not to Jewish people. The respect of people, whoever is created in the image of Hashem, is so important, right? It doesn't really matter if somebody spoke this about the rabbi or that about the rabbi. You're supposed to say hello no matter what. There was this very, very intellectual couple that were very far from Judaism, not far from religion, I should say. They didn't know so much. And then, unfortunately, there was something happened and she didn't feel well. They went right away to make some checkups by the doctor. The doctor found to know that she has some kind of bad disease like that. So right away she has to go through treatment, she has to do it. Somebody suggested her to go and buy a book of Tehillim and maybe pray because it's good, it's important, it will help her. So where do you buy Tehillim? They don't know. So they told them in Bnei Brak it's a town full of Jewish people, full of religious people. Go and buy over there. So they go first time in their life. They land into Bnei Brak. They go to a store, to a Judaica store, to buy a Tehillim. They come over there and they ask the woman over there that was helping. Usually it's men, but she was looking for a woman. She found this woman and she asked her for a book of Tehillim. And she's like, sure. And she finds her, she tells her, you know what you do here? So she shows her this and these chapters, divided to month, divided to 2 days, divided to 2 weeks, whatever. And she's like, what do you need this for? Oh, sometimes to a stranger it's easier to say, so she tells her, I have a problem, and the doctor suggested, and this and that. And she's, okay, give me your name. I want to, we have a group of women, we can gather, we can pray, we can mention your name. She felt so good, she felt so touched, some strange woman cares about her, why not? So she starts talking to her and she suggests to her, maybe you read this book, this is a very good book. It's comforting for people who have some problem. And they said, we have a shiur here, we have a class over there, you want to do that? They exchange phone calls, phone numbers, and she becomes, okay, so definitely they were never anti-religion, but she became very close and respecting, religious people. Why? Because somebody cared for her. Somebody get out of their way, to help her, to ask her. She was a strange. She could stay as strange and goodbye, and that's the end of it. But because somebody cared, it made a difference in these people's life. It says about Moshe Rabbeinu, Vayar b'sivlotam. Vayar b'sivlotam, that he saw how his brothers, the Jewish people, how they suffer. Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have to suffer with them. He was raised in the house of a king. He was a prince. He had everything. But he wasn't like that. Zenika in Hebrew, Noseh be'olim chavero. He bears the burden with his friends. How important one of the ways of Derech Eretz is to care about other people, not only about yourself. Get out of your shell and try to see, maybe he needs a help, maybe you are able capable of helping him. So Moshe did, and he endangered himself whenever he was trying to, I don't know, he killed somebody that, an Egyptian that was healing a Jewish person, and then he had to exile himself and run away, and all to help for a Jew. I read once a fable. I like this fable very much. It speaks about a mouse. A mouse was living in a huge home of a farmer and his wife and family, and in that house there were cows and sheep and pigs and chickens and all kinds of other animals. One day, the mouse come to know that the owner of the house, the farmer, he bought a mouse trap.
What is that?
A mouse trap. A mouse trap.
Oh, my mouse.
Trap. And he got so scared. What's going to be with me now? He goes to the chicken. He tells the chicken, what should I do? What should I do? There's a trap at the house. I could be killed. The chicken is like, what do you want me to tell you? I have nothing to do with this. I don't know. He goes to the pig. He tells to the pig, pig, what should I do? What should I do? There's a trap. I could be killed. The pig says, it's not my business. What do you want from me? He goes to the cow. He said, cow, what should I do? The cow says, I don't care about this. I have other problems to worry about. You have your problem, just deal with this. He doesn't know what to do, this mouse. At the middle of the night, there was a sound from the mousetrap. The farmer's wife heard it, and she came to see what was caught in that trap. She came, but it was dark, very dark. There was no light. So she comes closer. She didn't realize something was caught there. It was a snake, a very poisonous snake, that only his tail was caught in this mouse trap, and this snake bit her, and now she became very sick. Her temperature got very high. She became very sick. So there's this old remedy. Whenever there's a temperature, or somebody is sick, or somebody has a cold, it's suggested to give her to drink a chicken soup. So the farmer goes, he slaughters the chicken, and he makes chicken soup to his wife so that she'll be healthy a little bit. She's sick for a while. A lot of people are coming to visit her, neighbors, family. They come, friends, they try to be around the clock next to her bed, see what they can help. So many people in the house for such a long time. He has to feed them something, no, this farmer. He goes and he kills the pig to feed these people. Mm-hmm. And then nothing was really helping, and she was dying until one day she just died. She died. There's a funeral. A lot of people coming to the farmer after the funeral. He needed to feed them. He had no choice, and he killed a cow to feed those people. מה זה? נושא בעול עם חברו. Can you say, this problem is not mine, you deal with this? You cannot say such a thing. Because we know that כל ישראל ערבים זה לזה. We're all united. We're all in one kind of ship. And who knows, if there's a damage, we can all sink into the water, right? So you cannot say, it's not my problem, it's his problem. It's this community, it's not my community. It's this family, I don't know them, they're from Samarkand, they're from Tashkent, they're from Bnei Brak, and they're from, I don't know, Brooklyn. So what? We're one people. We're supposed to care. Moshe Rabbeinu was not like that. It says that Hashem gives him, he tells him, go and save the Jewish people. He keeps refusing. Why he keeps refusing? He was so caring about the Jewish people. He didn't want them to suffer, right? All of a sudden Hashem tells him, go and take care of them. He says, no? How could you say no to Hashem? What kind of guts he had to say no to Hashem? So they all explain about the Chazal. Why did he say no to Hashem? Because he didn't want his brother to be embarrassed, to be upset. His brother was leading the Jewish people for all this time that he was absent, And now he's going to come and take the throne and be the leader and, and make all this. What about him? How he might feel? He might feel, bad and upset and left out. And, till now I took care of them. He didn't want to hurt his brother. And this is the only reason he didn't want to follow the order of Hashem. How he cared, Moshe Rabbeinu, about his brother. So, Rav Kron writes in one of his books a very interesting story. There was this cantor that was leading the prayers in the shul of Rav Sonnenfeld, which was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem, about 100 years ago. So a few weeks before Rosh Hashanah, he passed away. And the shul are trying to look for a new cantor for the high holidays. The high holidays is the main thing during the year. And they see that the rabbi is calm and is not really looking into people. So they thought maybe he already found somebody. Cantor, the Chazan. He thought maybe they found already. So they didn't make an effort to look for somebody also. And as Rosh Hashanah comes, the rabbi gets up into the bima and he appoints his son, the cantor's son, to come and sing. Everybody was shocked. Cantor's son is a cantor's son, but maybe he's not so talented. There are much better people who have a better voice and they can lead the prayers, they can do much better work, much better job than these sons, cantor's sons. So the rabbi explained them later. He told them, all this time, the widow of this cantor, she's sitting in Azarat Nashim. And she feels upset and sad. Her husband passed away. She feels aggravated. And then somebody is going to come and sing instead of her husband. How she may feel. But if I'll call her son to come, at least now, the first time, right after the house, when it's so fresh and she's so sorry, I'm going to ask her son to read, she might feel, okay, at least something stayed in the family. She won't feel so bad. See how this Rabbi Sonnenfeld cared so much for the sorrow, for the pain of this lady. We may not even think about this. So it was a big deal. He finished his job, so something else next. Who cares? But these people care. This is what the Torah wants from us. To be, in a way, get out of your way and start thinking how he feels, how she feels. That's very, very important. We're supposed to take this and learn from this also. God forbid, when people do not care, how severe it could be sometimes. There was this guy that couldn't find a shidduch. As much as he tries, it's hard. Every time he gets into some kind of shidduch, he gets stuck, and he cannot do it, and it's hard. And he goes to this rabbi, he goes to that rabbi, he goes to this shadchan, matchmaker. It's not happening. So one day, the mashgiach in his yeshiva is asking, why all the suggesting, why they get stuck? Maybe you hurt somebody's feelings in the past? Think about this maybe? So he's thinking and then he remembers. When he was younger, when he was in the high school of the yeshiva, so there was this kind of crazy or insane man that would come to the yeshiva from time to time, and the guys would laugh at him and make jokes out of him. And he's not so there, so he wouldn't understand even that they laugh at him. And one day he spilled water on him, and this insane man, he felt so bad. He was so angry, started to curse him. Oh, you won't see one day, good day in your life. You want this. So they didn't even care, because insane people say all kinds of things. Who cares? Now that he thinks about this, many, many years later, Maybe because of this, who knows? So the Mashgiach tells him, go find him and talk to him. Maybe if you appease him, maybe he will forgive you. Until he found him. Until when he started talking to him, you don't understand, you understand what you say, you don't understand. But then yes, he remembered. Then he even blessed him, he said, don't worry, then he forgot about this. He was so happy. Right away, he was able to find the shiur. That's how it works. In Pirkei Avot, in the second chapter, Mishnah Tet, it says, Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai, we just mentioned him before, okay, he had this 5 students. He says, go and find out. Ezohi derech yeshara sheyidbak ba'adam, which is the right path, which is the middle path that a man should imitate, should take it to himself. So his students saying all kind of things. Rabbi Elazar Omer, Rabbi Eliezer Omer, Ayin Tova. When you look at other people and you're happy with what they have, it's a good quality somebody should learn from this. Rabbi Yehoshua Omer, Chaver Tov, if you have a good friend, it's everything. Rabbi Yosef Omer, Shachen Tov, sometimes a good neighbor is better than even brothers, because brothers could be so far, sisters could live so far, and you're not in touch. But the neighbor that you can lean on, that is there, is available, is very good. Rabbi Shimon Omer, whoever can forecast the future, it's good. When you think about the future a little bit, you make better decisions. Okay? Rabbi Elazar Omer, Lev Tov. If you have a good heart, that's the best thing that could be. And then Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai told them, רואה אני את דברי רבי אלעזר בן ערך, שבכלל דבריי דבריכם. Whatever you mention, inside this Lev Tov, there's everything. If somebody has a good heart, so he's happy with other people, and he's trying to be, he's connected to good people usually. He has good qualities. He is happy with what he has. He wants just for the good of the other people. He wants good to his friends, to his neighbor, to the whole world. That's what he wants. That's the best thing that could be. And when he asks them later on, what is the bad quality that somebody should be running away from? He says, lev ra, when somebody has a bad heart, and the rabbi agreed with him again. So this is, we mentioned last week that people, if they want, they can control their thoughts. And from our thoughts, this is when starts either lashon hara that we mentioned last week, or good things, right? So this is the most inner thing, the most important thing inside, because this is what screams out later on. When Avraham Avinu is looking for a good wife for his son, he sends Eliezer to find the woman, right? Eliezer sees Rivka and he tests her. How he tests her? Let's see how she's going to react if I ask her to drink something. So Rivka right away, she comes and she tells him, yeah, sure, I'll give you water, I'll give all your camels, all this, all that. And she runs, and she does it happily. Sometimes you do things, but you're not happy. Oh, why me? Why again? You have guests over. That's not fair. Why me? Why always me? Why? Or any kind of thing that you do. This girl, she did it happily. She did it fast. She cared for him. And this is a girl that is suited to Avraham Avinu's house. Okay? Ahavat Chesed. She cares. She ran out of her way to help them. Same was Avraham Avinu. Avraham Avinu, he was on the 3rd day of his circumcision, Beit Milah, and he's looking for guests. He's by his door. No, when somebody's coming, and when they come, he runs after them. He prepares them food. He cleans. He goes. He comes. These are people that are not thinking about themselves. They're thinking about how to make good to other people. That's called Lev Tov. Okay? Rabbi Ponovich, Harav Kahneman Zatzal, he went many times to the United States to collect money to yeshivot in Israel, to his yeshiva. And in one of the times that he came here, a very intellectual man meets him. And they start talking, and this man is telling him, you know, Rabbi, so many times I had temptations to convert myself to Christianity. I went through so much tough and difficult times. I had all kinds of tests and nisyonot. One thing kept me away from converting myself, to Christianity. You know what is this? He told him it was the quote of the Chafetz Chaim. Quote of Chafetz Chaim? What exactly it is? So he told him once I was young. I was a young yeshiva bachur, and I want to be accepted to this yeshiva of Chafetz Chaim, Shem Radim. He comes over there, there's so much students in his house, and nobody cared of him, nobody paid attention to him. So he stayed in one corner next to his luggage, and then he fell asleep. He didn't realize, slowly it becomes dark, becomes night, everybody left, and he was there sleeping. And so then he feels that he awoke, kind of. It just shows himself that he's sleeping. An old man, this rabbi, takes him, puts him on the couch, and then takes his own coat and covers him so that he won't be cold. And then he continued learning in a low voice so that he won't bother this sleeping guest. He says, whenever I had trouble, whenever I wanted to leave everything behind me, I always continue remembering this warmth of the coat of the Chafetz Chaim. How he cared about me. It was so touching. This was kept him for years and years later on. Caring for other people. Lev Tov. There are some people that are far from good qualities. Hashem gives them all kind of qualifications, all kind of talents, sometimes money. And when they get some money and they have, that they rise and they become important people, he becomes the president of the community. He becomes, what. They sometimes allow themselves to do all kinds of things that, they have to be very, very careful. Example like that happened in England. There was a rabbi of a community over there, and there was the president of the community. The president of the community never let the rabbi do his job. Constantly annoyed him, constantly bothered him, constantly abused him. You don't know this, you don't know that. He wanted a yes man, somebody that will just, of course, whatever you say. The rabbi has their own, laws, laws of Torah, and by this they make decisions. But we say, Balabait, people that are not all the time in the Torah, they think different, they don't understand, and they want their way, and then there's always a fight between the rabbi and the president. Anyway, one day though, he got a hit, this president. His daughter calls him and declares that she wants to get married to a non-Jewish guy. And he's like, no, you're not going to do this to me. You know who I am? Everybody's looking out for me. I'm the president. I'm this and that. He doesn't know what to do. And then he remembers, the rabbi, he should do his job. He calls him, says, I have an assignment for you. You have to talk to my daughter. She cannot marry a non-Jew. What is this? So fine, of course, the rabbi is trying to explain her and talk to her and convince her. Cannot help. The daughter doesn't want to listen. So the president is, I knew you cannot do it. I knew you're not worthwhile. I knew that you're not capable. What kind of rabbi it is and that? And they start accusing him all kind of things. The rabbi tells him, you remind me of a story. There was this famous doctor that he was traveling from town to town. He had his bottles of medicine. He had his tubes, all kind of ointments. He had all kind of, and he used to heal all kind of people with his medicine. So one time when he travels, robbers came him and they robbed him. He had money, so they took his money, and the doctor is asking, please leave the medicine. What are you going to do with the medicine? I can heal other people with this. the head of the robbers, well, this gangster, he didn't care. Didn't feel any mercy, didn't feel anything. Just took all the money from this doctor, all the medicine he threw to the sea. That's what it says. And he felt good about himself and he left. The doctor didn't know what to do. Okay, he continued to his next stop, to his next city, and the patients are already waiting for him. They heard that he's coming and they want him to help. They come, they make a whole line, and who's waiting over there? The head of the robbers, this gangster, is also waiting there. His son became very sick, and he needs help. The doctor is like, what can I do? I was robbed on the way. I cannot help you. I have nothing to do. This is when this gangster realized that it's his fault, that he is to be blamed, that his son will die, and he cannot help him because he robbed this doctor. The rabbi tells it to the president, you tied my hands, you don't let me work, you don't let me do anything, now your daughter doesn't listen to you, it's not because of me. When people have bad qualities, they feel too high about themselves, they let themselves do all kinds of things. The Torah teaches us the opposite. The Torah teaches us, be careful. Now it says, it's true, it says, how can we, this rabbi was trying to influence this girl. He wasn't able because of all kinds of political reasons over there. Can we influence some people to do good, to think better, to be positive?
Sure.
How?
It's a must.
It says, it says something interesting. It says, how to say it? Right. They say that you reflect into the water, right? You see your face. If you say your face is gleaming, is happy, so the person next to you is going to show you a happy face also. If you show that you're sad and you're upset,